Now, as if the war itself wasn't bad enough, the AI innovation out of China is also to blame for some of today's losses. Startup Moonshot AI says its Kimi K3 model performed competitively with Anthropic's Fable and even outperformed OpenAI's latest model. It's stoking fears that China is pulling closer to the U.S. in its own AI development. Daniel Remler is a senior fellow with the Technology and National Security Program at the Center for a New American Security, and he joins us now. Good to have you. Thanks so much for being on the program.
Thank you for having me, Paula.
Now, I do want to get first to the business side of this. Now, for China, this AI build-out, it seems to be Belt and Road Initiative 2.0, this one for Generation AI. I mean, China clearly wants to dominate, but they claim to also be promoting a cheaper open source model, unlike how things have been developing in the United States. How do you see this shaking out in terms of who dominates here?
It's a good analogy to the Belt and Road, Paula. So China's strategy overall has been to push open source models, which means they can be downloaded and run locally, whether it's on your laptop or local infrastructure. And they've done this consistently. Moonshot AI, their model Kimi K3, right now it is not released open source. It's just available through the cloud. But they say that they will open source the weights by the end of this month. And they've had some success, China overall, I should say, promoting these models around the world. They are relatively much cheaper than the US models, even if they are consistently less capable across the board. But that kind of cost advantage has led to a lot of businesses around the world that want to use these capabilities, but are cost sensitive to experimenting with these Chinese models alongside US models in general. So the kind of Chinese strategy of scaling, pushing out lower cost alternatives is certainly at play here with AI.
And we'll get to the national security implications here, but do you believe this is something that the AI companies at the forefront of things right now in the United States should be concerned about?
They should certainly be concerned about the Chinese AI models continuing to kind of improve. Now, I will say the gap between the US and China has been fairly consistent. The company Moonshot AI claims their model is kind of as good or competitive with Fable 5 from Anthropic and other leading models for the United States, but initial user feedback suggests Moonshot is probably closer to where OpenAI and Anthropic were 5 to 9 months ago. That's a kind of consistent gap. So the capability gap is consistent. They're still improving. But they still have this kind of cost advantage. And the Chinese are using a number of methods to kind of skirt around the relative lack of compute because of US export control. So they're doing this thing called distillation, where they're able to extract the capabilities of leading US AI models. They are smuggling chips. They are remotely accessing chips abroad. So it's a real concern. I will say that this Kimi K3 model is very large, so you can't actually run it from a laptop, and it's actually more expensive to run compared to some of the other Chinese models that we've seen recently. So it doesn't have quite as many of those distinct advantages that the Chinese have had with their other models recently, but it's certainly a kind of competitive concern overall.
But you do wonder how much longer it would take them to get there, given the fact that, again, we are told all AI models right now are at an exponential level. But I do want to turn now to your expertise. Could the Chinese advance these AI systems to a point where they pose a serious threat to U.S. national security and beyond, I should say? Now, look, I'm old enough to remember nuclear deterrence theory, and you have written that, in fact, the U.S. government should, at least in the military sphere, begin speaking to China about this. Do you think this is on the radar of the Trump administration at all, and should it be?
It's certainly on the radar of the Trump administration, and the administration does seem interested in talking to China about AI broadly. Now, I have a particular view about how that should be done that would be consistent with U.S. interests. But look, Paula, I would argue that the Chinese AI models already pose a serious threat to U.S. national security. This model from Moonshot, Kimi K3, as well as a previous model from the Chinese AI company Zhipu, the model GLM 5.2, are as good as some of the models from US AI companies that the US AI companies say could be used to launch fully automated cyber attacks. And I strongly suspect that these Chinese models are being used by the Chinese People's Liberation Army and China's security services to turbocharge cyber attacks, to conduct cyber espionage against US critical infrastructure, other critical infrastructure across the West. These models also have serious security vulnerabilities that, if they are adopted by businesses in the United States or elsewhere, could then be exploited by cyber criminals or by Chinese intelligence. And these models are very consistently and very rigidly aligned to the CCP's ideological vision and are heavily censored. So kind of across the board, I see these national security threats.
Yeah, this is certainly a warning shot, and we will see how the Trump administration and Xi handle it going forward, given the the President Xi is supposed to come to the United States in the next few months, so we'll see if that becomes one of the top agenda items. Daniel Remler for us, thanks so much. Really appreciate your insights.
Thank you so much.